Hey there, welcome to the 10th episode of Under the Radar. Pretty stoked to finally be into the double digits, and I'm going strong. I'm going to keep going. I've got a lot planned for the future episodes of this series, and I did want you to know that as I go forward, starting with this episode, you are going to notice a slight uptick in the quality of each recording that I present in each episode. I think partly that is due to the fact that there was a decline at the time in analog studios and the rise of Pro Tools and digital studios, and it seemed like everybody and their mom was opening up a recording studio, so us bands had a lot more options, and we were able to get a lot of bang for our buck. So that being said, this episode brings me back to a very fond memory. This starts in 2001 when I was attending my first semester at college at MCC, which was McHenry County College in Crystal Lake, Illinois. And there was this Battle of the Bands. Now I think this was right before 9/11. Like, we're talking the first 2 weeks of school before 9/11 happened. So this must have been in that little pocket of time. But in the gymnasium of MCC, they were having a Battle of the Bands, and the radio station B96, anybody from Chicago probably knows what B96 is. I don't know if everybody else does, but that was pretty much one of the biggest radio stations around. They were kind of hosting the event, and I remember as I was watching, there was a band called Fear of Sound. They were a local nu metal band. There was a band called Preston, which consisted of members of the band Ambassador Quan and some other bands that I had been acquainted with and played with in high school. But anyway, I was at this Battle of the Bands watching these bands, and in between, B96 was doing these, toss-outs of shirts and stuff. And at the time, this is right when Aaliyah had passed away, and she had just dropped her last CD. And I just was so happened to catch this exact CD from the DJ that was throwing things out. And this CD in particular, definitely still a big fan of this, but it's just another positive memory of then being introduced to one of my favorite local bands. I'm wearing their shirt right here, which is the band Intercept from Chicago. Now, watch this band get on stage, and they killed it. I mean, they were onto something at the time that was kind of new and up and coming. It was more of an indie rock, kind of with some math rock, kind of with some emo, had a groove to it. It just had something a little different than I was used to, and the members of the band were all so well accomplished at their instruments. The rhythm section was slamming. Anyway, so needless to say, after that show, I went and talked to them, befriended them, and within, a couple weeks, I think we played, our second show is Midwest Blue, was with Intercept in Island Lake, Illinois. But this band was killing it. They started playing Fireside Bowl, they started playing The Note, just playing MP shows all the time. But just as Midwest Blue went into the studio to record our debut EP, Intercept went into the studio as well to record their debut EP. They went to Matt Allison, who did, Alkaline Trio, Honor System, Lawrence Arms, all those amazing Chicago bands that we were all into at the time. And so the quality of the release that I'm covering today is really good. And I really hit it off with these guys. They shared a love for a lot of the bands that were up and coming that I was getting into, and I would attend shows with them in Chicago. We would just go to shows together, like to see The Stereo or Piebald or Hey Mercedes. We were really into all that stuff that was coming out in the early 2000s. So anyway, I went to see Intercept at the Fireside Bowl in Chicago. It must have been 2002. Not long after, a few months after we played with them. They had finished up their EP, and at the show, they had a big stack of these samplers on the table, and it had 2 songs from the 6 that they had recorded, and I was just blown away by the quality of this. And to be honest, immediately I second-guessed everything I had done. I knew that the recording we made and my performance personally was embarrassing next to something like this. I can tell you it's alright, 'cause up until then this band made me want to up my game hard.
No one is safe. No one is safe in this place. I've said all the wrong words to save face. This day shall not be the last. It will be the beginning of our existence. Our existence. It's been 19 years in the making. Before I met you, could have been another 10. For all I care, I couldn't believe at first that you could possibly exist. You were just the thing I'd strive to find, but settle for the next.
So these songs were included on their 2002 debut EP, All of This Is Circumstance, which was released by the New Beat label from Knoxville, Tennessee. Like I said, the quality of this EP really impressed me at the time, and it also impressed my best friend Aaron, who was playing drums in Midwest Blue at the time. I would have to say that I think I've seen Intercept more than any band ever, and I've played with them probably more than any band ever also in my different projects. But yeah, I had a huge thing for this band. I think that Kirk's vocals on here are great. The artwork for this release was made by Anthony Hall, one of our friends, the brother of Nick Hall, who was in the band Preston at the time. And like I said, Intercept was just grinding. They were just doing it. It seemed like they were light years ahead of where I was at. And this definitely was the release that made me want to write better songs, make a better recording, and take this all the way and raise the bar for myself even higher. I will say, this band, for as hardworking as they were, I was surprised that they weren't bigger. I thought that they were better than most of any of the bands that were starting to get signed in the Chicago area. And, they played with some really good bands too. I mean, they played with Chiodos when they were the Chiodos Brothers. They played with Riddle of Steel, Felix Culpa, Exploding Makeup, Retro Morning, Scatter the Ashes, Honor System, Colossal, Grey AM. I know they played with way more impressive acts even than that, but yeah, they were just grinding. And shortly after the boys from Intercept finished up their first tour, they actually kicked out their lead guitarist, Justin, and replaced him with MJ from Preston, and then Alan from the Inside joined the band, and they would later go on to release another EP, and then they did an amazing full-length many years later, which I'll cover later in this series. Anyway, they did a hilarious music video for the song Gun off of this EP with both those new members, but Justin managed to make a cameo in the music video, sitting on the floor next to the band, pretend playing a glockenspiel, I think.
Our second live guest of today, the Intercepts.
It's a cold day again, February 14 again. It's like a shot to the head, just to hear it said. I never thought she'd run away. I guess she didn't want to say.
Pretty ridiculous video, but I always love that song Gun.
It's a cold day again, February 14 again.
don't you stand over here on this side? I just want to apologize. I called you guys a different name, but I know you're Y-Intercept. Y-Intercept. So what's your name?
Kirk.
Hi, Kirk.
MJ.
Hi, MJ.
Alan.
Alan, do you notice my accessory that I wore in sympathy of your accessories?
Yeah.
We can go rob a bank later. Hi, what's your name?
Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Justin, hi.
Hi, Justin. So, what's the name? What's up with the name Y-Intercept? I want to ask you because you were singing.
It was kind of brought up jokingly while doing homework, actually, a long time ago.
What kind of homework were you doing? Because we do homework all the time. Algebra.
Algebra.
So is intercept an algebraic term?
Yeah, Y-intercept, but we put a WH on it to be a little goofy.
See, kids, you can make band names out of math homework, yeah?
Frankly, I just loved all the songs on this EP. But I will say, I remember being stoked. I think this is the first officially pressed CD that I ever made it into the thank yous. Not only me, but my band actually made it in, and that was really exciting. Because I really thought Y-Intercept was like the next big thing in my mind, but boy, was I wrong. Anyway, I'm not sure that you can find this release anywhere online. If not, happy hunting on Discogs if you're interested in this baby. I would definitely recommend checking out their album Channels. It's a completely different vibe than their early work. But definitely check out Y-Intercept Channels if you're looking for a stellar new indie rock record to attach to that you've never heard before. Anyway, shout out to Dan and Kirk and Justin and all the other dudes from Y-Intercept. R.I.P. I have some really great memories playing with that band. In other news, now that we're 10 episodes deep, I wanted to announce some things. Number one, I've been putting out all these digital singles with Slave to Servant, and I will be releasing my next single, Atonement, which is the second full band recording so far, and that music video will hit tomorrow. I hope you enjoy it. What I'm doing right now is I'm putting together a collection of all the singles, and I'm going to eventually press all the singles on one collection CD, kind of like a B-sides record or just like a straight up collection of just singles. And I was hoping to press that soon, but given the circumstances of this current COVID-19 thing, I probably won't do that soon. But anyway, I'm not sure that I'm going to be putting that out physically for a little while, but I will put it out digitally. I'm hoping to have it out probably in the next couple months, I'm hoping. I'm just waiting on like 4 songs to be mixed right now. I'm also ready to pull the trigger on 2 more music videos, but being stuck inside, I can't go out and film a video with some homies. So I'm just going to have to wait on that for a minute. But in other news, I'm currently almost done with my full-length record. And not a singles collection, but a full-length record that is being mixed by Mr. James Paul Wisner of Dashboard Confessional, Paramore, Under Oath fame. It sounds bigger than anything that I've ever made, and I'm really excited to show you guys. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know what's in store. I'm really looking forward to making more of these episodes, producing more content. Also, I've been going live on Facebook weekly. So if you want to tune in to either at Sam Swanson Solo on Facebook, or you can look up at Handsome Young Ladies on Facebook. I'll be definitely doing it next week. Again, go to slavetoservant.bandcamp to stream or download any of the singles. I appreciate your support, and thanks for your time.